Hey y'all, it's your girl Barbie J here. Welcome to my channel, June BLC. What's up, everybody? It's your girl Barbie J here, and we are back with a new season. That's right, we're back with a new season of Tyler Perry's comedy drama Sisters, Season 9, Episode 1, No Time to Wait. And I'm going to be honest with y'all, I didn't care too much for this episode. I don't know about everybody else, but I did not like this episode that much at all. It started off with the police coming into Gary's office. The lights were out and they're like hands up and all this stuff. And they telling Zach to get down on his knees. He's like, yo, I'm the one that called y'all. Like, really? So anyway, they talking to them. Gary's up there scared, hiding under the desk and all of this stuff. And I'm like, what the hootie and the blowfish is going on here? This man is evil. He is pure D evil. So how is he hiding under a desk with his hands tied? And then for Zach to say that Gary helped take down, what's his name? I know he jumped up and tried to push him over, to try to save Andy, but his hands were tied. So how much more help did he do? That's why Andy didn't even believe it. So I just didn't get that scene at all. Then we have Karen and Fatima in the car. They stuck in traffic. She trying to get her to the hospital, but due to the blackout in Atlanta, the traffic lights are out, so nobody could go anywhere. It's ridiculous. I'm like, oh my goodness. Then it switches over to a scene which I think is totally a waste of time. Sabrina and Rich. He gonna grab her. First of all, I wouldn't let you touch me after you had your hands on your ding-a-ling-a-ling and you was up there just letting Penelope ride you and you were holding on to the back. Oh, come on now. How did he catch up with her when Sabrina ran out the doggone place and his pants was down? And then he had the nerve to lie. I barely put my tip in. What the what? Did we not see Penelope up and down and up and down? I'm so confused. And they outside in front of the juice bar doing all this talking, arguing when wasn't Penelope's brother Jordan in the car drunk right there in front of the juice bar? That's why I thought it was crazy that they was even having sex with the blinds open and everything, and he's right out there. It made no sense whatsoever. And for Sabrina to spend so much time entertaining his crap was beyond understandable. I can't even go into the details about that because it made no sense. She wasted her breath and her time talking to this man while he lies, and then he tried to make it seem like it was all about her. He needed to get over her, so he went and jumped to the next thing that breathed on him. Oh, come on. Sabrina's thinking because they've been friends and family and friends all this time that he's been having an affair with her. Not an affair, but they've been messing around or something like that. Ay, 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 ay. And then he had the nerve to tell Sabrina, I don't even like her like that. It was just something to do to get my mind off of you. And Penelope came out of the juice bar and said something just to do and smacked him on the back of the head. I said, Lord Jesus. And so he's trying to get Penelope to go back inside. And Sabrina's like, yeah, you need to go inside because I can't even stomach looking at you. And Penelope's like, I'm not going back inside. And she said, you knew that I was with him. She said, and I knew you broke up with him. So she said, what do I even care? We're not friends. This is Penelope. And I was like, Penelope had a point. Why are you out there, Sabrina, even going back and forth with her? Your concern is that man that you were supposedly be with, and you broke up with him. Why are you wasting your time right now? Somebody put it down in the comment section why they wasted their time with this scene. So now we have the scene with Danny and Tony. And she's letting them know the lights went out because of the blackout. He's sitting there talking about he thought she didn't pay her electric bill. She's like, oh, I'm a grown woman. I pay my bills on time. I was like, stop lying, Danny. Stop lying. But anyway, they started talking about what this ultimatum that the job gave him. Either he goes to Alaska or he loses his job or something like that. And so Danny's like, well, let's discuss it and stuff like that. But he's sitting there saying, well, if we go together, it won't seem so much like that. And she's like, you keep saying we, but she said we as well. We could get through and we could do that, and then he's talking about, so if I go by myself, can you come and visit me? She was like, I ain't doing it. She said, Alaska ain't gonna see this fine black behind. So basically, and I'm not mad at Danny for it. Danny told him if he go to Alaska, he going by himself. He said then we could do a long distance relationship. She said, I'm taking that off the table too because I don't do long distance relationships. And I think her working with her therapist is helping her to be straightforward and say what she feels. Not beat around the bush, not hold it in. But she's actually telling him, I'm not going. I don't want to do long distance. I'm not coming to visit you. I was like, damn, Danny. So now we have this scene where Fatima gets Karen to the hospital. She basically has to walk. There's no wheelchair. She's in pain and everything. The hospital is chaotic because of the lights going out and all that. But don't hospitals have backup generators? I thought they had backup generators for certain situations such as this. Am I wrong? Somebody put that down in the comment section, because I just know as much time as I spend in hospitals, I swear I heard that or knew about something like that. But this nurse is rude at the desk. She has no patience. Oh, she's Fatima. I mean, it took a lot of Fatima's strength not to jump over that desk and snatch that woman up. So I give her credit for keeping a cool head, because if something happened to her, then Karen would have been alone. And she kept telling Karen, I'm not going to let anything happen to you. Karen asked her to call her mother, and she said, I'll call Zach and Aaron too. She's like, thank you. And when Fatima got up like she's going to walk away, Karen's like, don't you leave me. Don't leave me. And she said, okay, I won't. And that's the scenes with Karen and Fatima, I love them. I don't know about y'all, but I love them. And I hope they allow them to continue to stay close like this, because this is something you never forget. This woman was with you the whole time, never left your side. And it just seems like Karen should be more forgiving and understand it and never forget this. You know what I mean? Never forget it. But those nurses, they were horrible until finally, and Karen kept saying, something's wrong. I know it, something's wrong. And she's getting fevers. She's not feeling well. And then a black nurse came by. I forgot her name. But she finally got Karen in a room after her sitting out there 2 hours out in the waiting area. And the white nurse was trying to talk her into not doing it, like she could wait for the next one. And she said, no, she's going to take this room right now, and she got her that room. I said, go on, sister, we got to stick together. And so she got a wheelchair, put Karen in it, and wheeled her to that room. I said, yes, so kudos to the sister who looked out for our sister, Karen. Then there's these scenes with Zach and Andy, and I really enjoyed those scenes as well. I liked seeing them bonding the way they did and talking and discussing the situation with Gary, and then, Zach realizing that his phone is off, he couldn't charge it, he needs to call Fatima. He finally gets it charged or whatever else, and just their conversation and the camaraderie, that closeness. She's so grateful. She's like, I could have died tonight if it wasn't for you. He's like, don't worry about it. I got you. I got you. And she, I think Andy's in her head like freaking out, honestly. And she was like, now she feels like she needs to be prepared all the time for anything. Yes, that is true. Yes. And while you at it, learn how to pray, girl. Y'all got to learn how to pray. Because it's just, that was crazy up in there what happened to her. But somebody tell me about this scene with Zach calling Andy. Andy's not answering, and he just walks into her room instead of knocking on the door. And he walks into the room to get his cell phone, and he opens the door, and she's not dressed. You can hear when somebody opens your door. So you're like, oh my God, you stay with your back. She gonna turn around and say, Zach. I was like, okay, that made no sense. I don't know what the purpose of that scene was for, but later on they're discussing it, saying, please don't tell Fatima about it. She don't need to know. And so now they're trying to get their phones working and don't have a signal because of the blackout. And what is it? Andy has two phones. So she got her phone and she sees she has 10 missed messages from Fatima. So she starts listening to the voicemail, and Fatima's like, I sent Zach looking for you. I hope you're okay. Then the next one is like, I swear I saw Gary. If Gary did anything, I'm going to kill you, kill him or something like that. And Zach is like, wait a minute. I'm starting to think y'all got a little something more than a regular, work relationship, friendship going on. He said, has she seen you naked? He was like, she said, that's too soon. He said, well, shoot, I done seen both of y'all naked now, so I understand, I said, Zach is so silly. So they get to the next message, and it's like, Harry to Vanguard Hospital. Karen is in labor. She's not doing well. And then you see Sabrina in her car. She's pissed after leaving Rich and Penelope outside in front of the juice bar. And she's in her car and she's listening to her messages, and it's saying that Karen is sickly and to make it to the hospital. It's not looking good. I'm concerned and worried. Then they show Danny checking her messages, and she's listening and everything. And she had ignored it a couple of times. I think somebody was calling, she ignored it. I don't know why. It must not have been one of the sisters, because why would she ignore it while she's talking to Tony of all people? Anyhow, and she was just doing her vape pen, and she was like, I'm out of here. Everybody, Sabrina was in her car, she drove off, and Danny got up off the couch and was like, gotta go. He's like, everything's all right? She's like, no, Karen's in the hospital. She must be delivering the babies. I don't know, but I have to go. And she left him sitting there. I was like, everybody was jetting to that hospital for Karen. But now back to the hospital where Miss Lisa has made it there. She made it there, and she's talking with Fatima, and they're talking about fever, blood, chills. And this Dr. Cruz is so insensitive. And he's like, oh, we got copies of your OBGYN records, and oh, you're having twins by two different fathers. Are they here? Where are they? It's like there's a blackout. Okay? And it's like, well, one is on the way, and the other one. And Miss Lisa's like, what does that have to do with my child's pain that she's going through and all this stuff? She's like, what is wrong with you? So they already see that something's up. He asking Karen, what's the pain level from 1 to 10? She said 100. So dude, and it's bleeding. And he's like, oh, that's normal. And fever, that's normal. No, it's not normal. And he's a real jerk. And that Hippocratic oath that they supposed to take and look out for their patients, that went out the window a long time ago. I could tell with this man. He doesn't have the same care about his job that you have when you first start. It's like he's just doing something now. To me, that's how it seems. And so the episode ends with Fatima and Miss Lisa outside of Karen's hospital room, and Aaron comes with all these pink balloons like, oh, did I make it in time? Did I miss anything? Traffic was horrible, and they're like, we don't know. And he's like, what's wrong? And he looks in Karen's room, and you see them cleaning up her bed, and you see blood stains and stuff on the sheets, and it just goes off like that. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what is going to happen? But I'm telling y'all, they ain't going to let her have that baby until episode 3. I know it's going to be, they dragging whatever this is happening. I guarantee it's not going to happen in episode 2. She's not going to deliver that baby. So I'm looking at episode 3. We're going to have twins or a twin, one baby coming out. So y'all let me know what y'all thought about this episode, and I'll see you all in the next video. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. But I really didn't care much for this episode, I tell you that much. But I did love the scenes with Zach and Andy and Fatima and Karen. Oh, you know what? I even like Danny and Tony because she was finally able to express herself. So therapy, I feel, is working. It's your girl, Barbie J, saying peace.